Now, speaking of women, we all know there's the beauty pageants. We do have Miss Uganda that is running its course here in Uganda, but also we have beauty pageants across different parts of Uganda. And these are such rich sites for both symbolism of cultures, of customs, of the country, but also the production has a much common popularity with how things are done and the glam that comes with it, the competition that comes with it, but the grace with which beauty pageants actually do happen is thrilling. Now this morning I am so happy that I am hosting beauty pageants who are going to be talking to us about their work in the space of ensuring that women have equal rights and equal opportunities. And so allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you, should I say Her Royal Highness, Vanessa Tendo Naddamba, who is Miss Uganda UK. Your Grace, you are most welcome.
No, that is too much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Please greet your people.
Baramusizza nnyo basibo ne bannyabo neyanzizza nnyo okumpa obudde okumpuliriza leero. Happy International Women's Day to everyone.
And also we do have the beauty pageant management that is led by Gladys. Thank you so much for putting up such a platform, and happy Women's Day to you. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Priscilla, and happy Women's Day. And good morning, everybody. Happy International Women's Day.
Okay, so you know when you walked in here, it's like, I should have also gotten a crown. But wearing the crown that you have today, take us through the process that you had to go through in order to wear the crown that you wear today as Miss Uganda UK.
Yeah. It is a very long process. I did get crowned on the 5th of November 2022, but way before you get the crown and the competition, we rehearse from May onwards. From May onwards. Yeah, from May onwards. So I had to go through a stage of growth, mental preparation, a lot of self-actualization within myself and self-belief. To be fair, I believe it's always a mental game way before you actually get to the night of the competition to then have the chance to win. So I had a lot of rehearsing, meeting the other contestants, meeting the team as well, just to get to know what is in store should I be the winner and stuff like that. So it was a preparation game, if anything.
Okay, all right. And for Gladys, you have also been a beauty pageant before, 10 years ago. Tell us about your journey.
My journey is not very different from Vanessa's, but as Miss Uganda UK, and the reason why I'm still working with them is the vision behind the pageant and what they help the young ladies with. As Gladys, when I was back then 10 years ago, I'll not mention my age, I was very naive. I wasn't very confident in myself. There's so many things that I had in my head, but I didn't think I could actualize. When I joined Miss Uganda UK, the process of training, which was about 12 weeks, helped me understand who I was as a person. I think that's the most valuable thing I got out of the process. So the training helps you understand who you are as a woman, what you're capable of, where you're lacking, what you need help with, accepting to learn. That was the journey. So with all the ladies that I competed with, I think I had put myself in because I wanted to be the best version of myself, and Miss Uganda UK, the training gave me that platform to do that. That was my journey to winning.
Speaking of being the best version of ourselves, usually women will go all out or give their power, their strength into something probably they're already familiar with. Correct. Or they have skilled in, but then when it comes to other opportunities that present themselves, like being Miss Uganda UK, they'll shy away from it for various reasons, or they say it's not my thing, or I can't. So how have you been able to address that particular kind of barrier? I'll start with Her Royal Highness.
Yeah. Well, beauty pageants in general, I think it's very wise to not think of them as just a platform to show beauty. When you think of beauty pageants, I would like people to differentiate modeling from beauty pageants.
Okay.
Beauty pageants, it's more about beauty and brains, right? It's more about what's on the inside and what you're willing to do to help those around you, kind of thing, you know? And when you enter these spaces, like you said before, when women enter certain spaces and they want to limit themselves, like, oh, that's not for me, what beauty pageants help you to do is realize that confidence within yourself, and once you take that first step and you're like, okay, well, I can do this, you're able to then venture out in other fields, technology fields, modeling, if it's not modeling, school. Sometimes people get the confidence to actually be able to go and achieve whatever subject they've always wanted to achieve. Public speaking as well is another thing that a lot of young girls get from beauty pageants, because you're on the stage and you have to deliver a particular message to whoever is watching you. So there's a lot of it's a process of breaking barriers for a lot of people, and I think it did that for
me. And women, we tend to front the barriers than the solutions to it. Now, speaking of which, Miss Uganda UK, this contest, to what importance and value is it to Ugandans when you are in the UK?
I think I should let Vanessa. I'll say very briefly. Miss Uganda, like the Ugandan girls in the UK, Vanessa will answer this better because she's actually working on it. But there is a lot of identity crisis in the UK with young people. They're not fully British, they're not fully Ugandan. Where are they accepted? So Miss Uganda as a platform is a place where these girls actually can value and align and identify with where they come from, because we stand for beauty, heritage, and culture. Those are our core values as Miss Uganda UK. So the importance is in three forms, I could say. One, to the girls themselves, because of how they can identify and who they can actually firmly say that this is who I am, this is how I identify, and I'm not shaken anymore. I know I'm not white, and I know I'm not fully British, but whoever I am confident in who I am, and this is what I'm going to present myself to the world as. But the other thing, it gives like women like me a platform to lead, for leadership opportunities, and thirdly, it helps us influence the other young girls, both in the UK and here. So when we're here, we go to different schools, because we know young girls especially are attracted to glam. They like to aspire to things. So when they see a young girl like Vanessa, I think Vanessa is a very successful young girl if she would tell you what she has done and what she's doing with herself. So if a girl like Vanessa is able to go and influence young people in schools, I think that is the value of the crown, or the value of a beauty pageant, I think I'd say, to our nation, to the people back home, and to the girls.
And Vanessa, how are you using your crown to actually elevate the women's agenda, especially in line with the theme that we're looking at, the digital space, and having women get innovative and engage in the technologicals of gender equality?
Thank you so much for that question. I was thinking you might ask me that, but I guess to simply put it, now we spoke about women limiting themselves to going into different fields in terms of what they can do and stuff like that. Now, particularly my platform, I'm actually talking about soft skills. That hashtag Let's Talk Soft Skills. Now, I wanted to bring awareness to how important those soft skills are. I know in Uganda specifically we pay attention to a lot of the hard skills, the reading, the writing, the mathematics, but what are we actually doing to enhance those soft skills that actually do take us to that next level?
And what are the soft skills you're referring to?
And when you think about soft skills, these are the informal skills, I guess, in terms of communication, interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, stuff like that. And when you think of everyday interactions, like me and you speaking today, it's not the qualifications that I'm putting in your face now, like, you know, I've got this, I've got that.
Although your crown is in my face.
Unintentionally. It's the communication and how I'm able to interact with you. Now, when we put it to the women's agenda and the women's theme in terms of technology, well, with the confidence that a woman may have within themselves, it is those interpersonal skills, let's say communication, that is able to enable, that is going to enable her to, let's say, go into an interview and actually be able to express to the interviewee how she's suitable and capable for the role and stuff like that. And I think it's very important to concentrate on that, because again, it's not just the qualifications that are important, it's the little things that we need to be able to...
Even on your CV, after you've put your qualifications, then they'll ask you for other skills that you have and possess to be able to then dispense your qualifications. Now, turning to you, Gladys, you have been a Miss Uganda UK before, and then that tenure ended, your reign ended. 10 years down the road, how have you been able to use this very same journey to become and engage in the things that you're engaging in today, especially as far as women empowerment is concerned. Because what we usually see, they come, go through the contest, she's crowned, and then she disappears.
God help me summarize this in less than a minute. But what it is, during the pageant, actually, I work in an IT industry, but I got the confidence that I could do anything I put my mind to in the journey of a beauty pageant, because I joined a beauty pageant immediately after I'd graduated. So I am now working in a technological industry, but I think I have to pay some homage to the discipline and the confidence that I got back then. But that being said, also I've stepped into leadership roles that I never would have stepped into. When I started the campaign to end child sacrifice 10 years ago, I didn't know I could speak to politicians. But passion, drive, and the confidence still that I got, like Vanessa was saying, the reason we don't step into some spaces is because we don't feel qualified. But confidence makes you semi-qualified in a way. It gives you the confidence to say, you know what, I can do this. And just to summarize is, I got invited to speak at the United Nations Youth for Human Rights for the first time. It was because of a beauty pageant, the confidence that I got, and being able to stand as a speaker in that room. I then went on to be the World Food Programme spokesperson. Again, it is because of the Miss Uganda UK and the confidence that I got and the passion that I have, and now I have purpose. I've linked that to my purpose. But when Vanessa, just a little bit, when Vanessa talked about confidence and being, and how a woman is able to put herself in different positions, I have not given up my career. So many women feel that they can only do one thing, but especially when you've gone through such a trying system of who you are, then you're able to adapt in different places. So this is what I've done. And I've also gone back to work with Miss Uganda UK to lend a hand. They usually say, once you get up the ladder, make sure not to put it down, because other people need to come on that same ladder to go up. And I feel like we all have room for greatness at the top. So I'm working with the girls, helping them to be in the journey, or even better than my journey was.
Okay, all right. Vanessa, speaking of the journey, while the crown looks beautiful on you, I know that the journey is not equally as beautiful. Given that you come from a different culture, you're in the UK, I believe that you do face a lot of challenges in a country that's predominantly white, English, different cultures, everything is different. Talk to us about those challenges you've faced and perhaps the solutions that you've come up with that other girls can adopt while in the UK.
I think everyone's experience is different, but definitely the girls or anyone from an African country, the challenges that they face when they are in the diaspora, again, it's like Gladys mentioned before, it's an issue of self-identity, crisis and stuff like that. And I guess beauty pageants like ours, these platforms give a chance to give the confidence for somebody to be proud of where they are and be proud of who they are uniquely and where they come from and their culture and their traditions and stuff like that. I'm working with a few charities back home to instill that into the youth back home. I work with a charity in Manchester called 1,000 Hands of Love, and basically what we do is we teach the children to be confident in who they are, teach them their values back home, because it's very easy when you're in a different country to assimilate to what is expected over there and completely forget what is expected from you from back home, your original home. And I guess parents are a big part of that in maintaining the child's tradition and where they come from and stuff like that, right? Teaching them just every day, letting them see what is actually going on back home where they come from, so that they don't forget where they come from, and it helps in terms of aligning their purpose. So for me particularly, not forgetting where I come from as a Ugandan child, it helped me in terms of how I grow, in terms of how I in terms of how I address different situations, right? In terms of how I interact with different people, right? And it's not just seeing what goes on back home, but it's actually speaking to my mom, asking whenever I'm not informed enough on what I'm supposed to do and stuff like that. So parents are a big part of that. And if the children themselves, like if they're lost in terms of not knowing how to approach the whole cultural identity crisis, the internet.
Yeah.
The internet is very useful for that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And in regards, she has given the diaspora impact. But let's bring it back home. When you ladies are back home to your cultural roots, how do people perceive and receive you? Gladys.
It's a bit dicey. Some people behave as if it's a problem that you decided to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they kind of look mean. They're mean. Sometimes people are mean. Majority of them are nice, but I find that when you start to if you speak English, it feels like you're trying to put
accent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're trying to put on an accent. I am not. So I tend to speak my local language. Thank God I know my Luganda and Runyankole, so I speak those, and then that's mitigated. But I think people have a some people have a wrong perception about people going abroad. To me, I think it's the same thing. We're just in a different continent. People just speak differently. Your Luganda is unique. Your accent is unique. The way you speak English is unique too. Mine has just been influenced by the people I live around.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm better than you or anything like that. So I think if people can start to see that we are actually the same and there's no difference. But it's a warm welcome when we go home, especially people appreciate when you can still speak Luganda, when you can still speak Runyankole. I think it's amazing how people are I don't know why they're surprised. It's my culture. Why are you surprised that I can speak my language? Yeah.
Okay. All right. As we close this conversation, I would like to hear of what you're going to be doing here in Uganda, how you're going to be doing it, for how long you're going to be doing it, Vanessa.
So we are here for practically the whole month. We'll be leaving towards the end on the 25th. Like I said, my platform that I want to use is to influence and impact the youth and inform them about the importance of those soft skills, because as we know, most of our university students are unable to get the employment that they have worked so hard for when they leave the educational system. So we'll be working with schools. We'll have a few schools lined up to go into and spread that message like we would like to. We'll have a few other activities that we have in place as well in terms of donations and stuff like that, and just getting to interact with the children more, just to see how we can be more of help in terms of their education.
Okay,
journey.
thank you so much. And Gladys, with your experience and voluntary work with young women, changing the perspective and narrative, what's your message to the Ugandan lady watching us this morning with this Women's Day?
Hi, young lady watching us this morning. I just want to encourage you to be able to allow yourself to get in spaces where you probably think you do not qualify, because no one is no one is fully qualified. We all go and try. So do not limit yourself. If you have anything, I always say, if you have anything in your heart, it means it is a seed and it has potential to grow. Just keep on trying, keep on showing up. You'll get knocked back, but it doesn't mean that you stop. And when she talks about soft skills, sorry a little bit. So we have two engineers, a boy and a girl. They're both technologically qualified, but why do they choose a boy over a girl? Because a boy feels more able, a boy feels more entitled to say, for example, I am more suitable for this job than the girl. The confidence is the part that the girl then needs to maybe stand out or to even showcase themselves better. So girls, keep showing up. Do not be intimidated by your counterparts of the other opposite sex, which are men.
All right.
And we're doing great things with men.
Okay, happy Women's Day to you, ladies, and a happy Women's Month to those of you that have joined us for these conversations here on Morning at NTV. One artist said different colors, one people. I'm going to say different gender, but still we are one person, and collective effort will help us achieve the digitalization, innovation and technology for gender equality. That brings us to a wrap on Morning at NTV. Privileged to have been your host, Priscilla Regina Deluga. Have yourselves a good day.